What's going on, YouTube? Sammy V here, and today we're going to travel into another dimension because we're going to talk about what's going to happen with the new phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So let's hop right into things. So, now what? What are we going to do now? The final snap happened. I am Iron Man. We saw that. Thanos is gone. Our main hero and our main villain are gone from the arc, from the whole 22 movies. So, what could they possibly do to branch off now that they've done that? So, that's what we're going to talk about today. And I have it's not really a theory, it's kind of a fact, but I'm going to consider it a theory for now. For the end of the video, I'm going to be talking about Spiderman and how he's going to be involved with the this phase very heavily, and why Far From Home is going to be a little bit more important than at face value. But I'm going to discuss some other characters before that, because I think they'll have a future in the cinematic. I'm not going to be talking about any Fantastic Four or X-Men or any theoretical characters that could exist now that we have the Fox deal and all those sort of things. But I'm going to talk about characters that currently exist in the universe and are probably, they might be prominent or they might not. It's basically a coin flip. But so the first, I guess, three characters that we're going to talk about are going to be the new kind of female gang, or not. They probably won't be, but the new female characters in the bunch. We're going to have Hawkeye's daughter. We're going to have Cassie Lang. It's going to kill me. But we're also going to have Pepper Potts. Lila, that's her name. Lila Barton. But we're going to have Lila, Cassie, and maybe Pepper Potts entering as heroes now that especially Tony's gone. Pepper might be a little bit more on the forefront for the whole superhero thing, even though she was kind of against it. She might, make suits, or she might just continue the technology aspect to build other things for that Tony might have wanted for this universe, I guess now, and things of that side. I was just gonna say the planet, but I forgot they're kind of connected with Captain Marvel, and we'll talk about her later. But now they're kind of branched off into the entire universe. Everyone's kind of a guardian of the galaxy now. But so that's basically it with Pepper. And her daughter. I forgot Morgan Stark. I feel like if she became a superhero, her name would be 3000 though. That's the only thing I really want to say about her. She'll get like the blue suit that maybe Pepper wore, called 3000. That's the only thing I really wanted to say with her though. But Lila would be pretty cool too, because now that Hawkeye's like Ronin, he's like really edgy and stuff. Maybe she'll be just as equally as edgy and murderous, and it'll be kind of like a cute thing, like where he's like, stop murdering people, and she's like, you do the same thing. Or maybe she'll just be like an upstanding kind of person, like before he got influenced by all the things that he dealt with prior to the Avengers movie and post Avengers Infinity War, when he became Ronin. But the most excited out of all of the new heroes that we're going to get is going to definitely be used to the mirror. Ant-Man's daughter, Cassie. So that's going to be great. I can't remember what her character is in the comics, but I mean, it doesn't really matter in a way with the MCU, because this iteration of the Wasp doesn't exist in the comics at all. So I don't really take that at face value, but so yeah, that'll be cool, because even in the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, she was like, oh, I want to be your sidekick. Like, why can't, I should be your partner. And that was kind of the whole base of the movie, was kind of like the partnerships between different characters, like between Ghost and the original, one of the dudes that can go giant. I forget his name. I'm kind of lacking today, I won't lie. But and Hank and the original Wasp, and then Scott and the new Wasp. But so I could probably see Cassie kind of donning her own Wasp costume, possibly, or she'll just have her own thing all around where she just shrinks, like how Scott does, and maybe she'll have her own abilities in some regard. Maybe by then we'll have some more cool technology, because I did see something lately that Ant-Man doesn't know, or Ant-Man, yeah, Paul Rudd doesn't know if there's going to be another Ant-Man movie being made. But I imagine even if there isn't, they would be included in some type of collaboration film. But we'll just have to wait uh, down the road and see that. So I guess now would be the good time to just kick it in the next year and talk about some of the other characters that we are going to probably see in more of in this, even though that they were previous heroes. So one of the things that I'm really excited for is to see what they'll do with some of our older characters now that they're probably going to return in their own respect. Especially Nick Fury now stepping back into the picture after like 10 fucking movies, but he's coming back into the picture to kind of train Spider-Man in a way, going to be his new mentor or guard. And I could imagine seeing Nick Fury and Steve Rogers, old man Steve Rogers, becoming like these new type of like elder leaders for the new age of superheroes. Kind of like moving on. The next characters I really want to talk about are the Asgardians of the Galaxy, because they're gonna be a weird bunch now that they have Thor with them. Because now they have a heavy hitter on the team. Plus, they're going to be traveling in space a lot. And the next antagonist for Guardians 3 is going to be Adam Warlock. So we're going to need a heavy hitter on the team to fight Adam Warlock. And I think like he is in the comics, he'll be a monster. But even though I was hypocritically saying, even though I was like, oh, I don't take the comics into account. I don't do any of that. But so that'll be interesting there. Might as well just talk about Spider-Man now, because that's what we're here for. We're here for fucking Spider-Man. Because the way that I see it is this whole MCU thing coalesced with Iron Man. It began with Iron Man, and it built its way up from the ground to become what it is now. So I think that's kind of what they're gonna do. And before I say that, the thing that they did with Iron Man is they built it up, and that was the Infinity Saga. So now I believe that with the first movie post Endgame being Spider-Man, I believe that he's gonna, and he even says like, "Oh, the world needs its next Iron Man," or somebody says that. Somebody in that trailer says that. But like, the world needs its next Iron Man, and who better than the one that Iron Man picked out to be a superhero? It's kind of just gonna. I think it's gonna. I don't think it'll end the same way with Peter dying at the end of the saga, because they'd be kind of lame to just do like the same kind of thing twice. But I think that this next saga, instead of being all about the Infinity Stones, is going to be about the multiverse. And not each movie, of course, but like every movie might have like hints at like the next movie, like it did before, or it'll have something to do with like the multiverse. Like it's like a big like Avengers type movie. It'll have something in the like it'll have some type of like end credit scene where we like see like a portal open or something along those lines, because we already know, unless he's lying, we already know that Mysterio is from another universe. But again, he could be lying. But if he isn't, and he's a magician already, and they already know about the multiverse and all that, so he could have done some wonky spell and got here, have nothing to do with Thanos. He just like, oh, I see a mess up in the timeline, so I can use that as an excuse. And so maybe he is from a multiverse. Maybe it's not because the multiverse got broken. Maybe he's just somebody that did that on his own accord. But I'm assuming, based off everything we've seen so far, that Spider-Man is going to be the new protagonist of the MCU in a regard, like how Iron Man was. Hopefully he gets his own type of like team, kind of like, there was like a Thor, Cap, and Iron Man. Hopefully he gets his own like big three, like his own like monster trio. But that's about it for me. Again, leave your comments about anything that you think is going to be a big deal in the next chapter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But this has been Sammy V, as my good friend Dominic would say. Don't do drugs. And I'll catch you later. All right, for real, last mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic, 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 mic. Hey, hello. Can you hear me when I'm talking like this? I know you can hear me when I'm talking like this. Can you hear me when I'm talking like this? Or going like this? Like this. Can you hear me when I'm whispering? I'm whispering loud. Can you hear me? Today's sponsor is Verve. With Verve, you can have a platform to watch all the things that you'd never really want to watch.